Hello, guys. How are you today? Here we go. There we are. Thank you very much for joining us today. This is the trading cage where we beat the gold. A very good morning and welcome to our page. So, today gold's looking a little bit better, but just before we do that, I've got something quite nice to try out. Okay. So as we just started the channel last week, there are a couple of things that I want to organize, and I wanted to try to put these live so I can check um, how it's gonna go.
Vai comprar na nossa bolsa quando ele manda o dinheiro para cá. Óbvio que eles também fazem o filtro que eu ensinei vocês, de
How was
qualidade,
that?
de
That
preço,
intro?
de
I've
margem,
got
de
to
lucro.
play around with the
Porém, eles têm uma
audio a bit
limitação.
and see how that goes. But I needed to try that out and see how that comes up in the recording so we can do better next time. So that's the intro that we are working on. Thank you for your patience. So today, I'm gonna have to do that analysis with our students at around 9:30 in the morning. So I'm gonna have to excuse myself once again. I do apologize for this, but I'm only gonna be excusing myself for about 5 minutes, and then I'll be back with you guys for our live. Well, I'm not gonna get out of the live, but I'll be muted for about 5 minutes, okay? Unless you want to hear the all the analysis in Portuguese, we could do that as well. So don't leave you guys hanging, but a lot of you guys may not understand what we are talking about. So back to our gold. Our gold yesterday, it came down to a really low support level to grab all that liquidity that we spoke about. Showed us some good trade areas and others not so good. So at the moment, we had gold coming back to a retracement on the 50% region in between the candle that candle 7 and maximum of candle 9. Okay, so we have that retracement. We have the support here, and I do believe these gold is on uptrend at the moment on the large time frames. Okay, so we'll be looking at that. I did find out from a friend that he said that I wouldn't have any issues to give you guys if I gave you guys entry points here on YouTube, which is quite good. So we might try to do a couple of those, and that might be really good for us, because then we can get into a couple of trades. At the 1 hour chart, we have got just have a look at something really quickly. So it's 50% of the week. Let me get this short out. That's gone. This doesn't exist. That one, we don't need that one anymore. That was for yesterday's study. This support still here. So we still have got that support in that region, which is basically around here now. And then price is just coming back to the 50% region of yesterday. So that's a really good test if you want to continue to go up. And okay. All right, so that's 50% of yesterday. Go, go, go. We have got a little bit of resistance here on this trigger candle there. But then price had broken through already. So, okay, let's wait for that, see how it plays out. So we have that Fibo and we've got the other one. We've got a smaller Fibo there. All right, so let's go back to our analysis. Just have a look at the daily chart, something else here. Where is that? Okay, so that supports the minimal that candle. This one is minimal that moment. Okay, all right. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. So on our chart today, what it's showing us is that it's above 50%, the 50% region of this movement. Okay, it's also above today's 50%. So today's 50% is exactly on the 50% of this Fibonacci here. 50% of yesterday is basically where candle 82 closed. Okay, so it's basically here. That's the 50% of yesterday. Price has come through and broken through the region of these candles here, which was a resistance for the price, got around here to candle 53. It's still kind of, let's see if it did break through or not. I would want to see that quite well. Okay, so it just touched it and then got pushed back down. The good thing about the region that's working right now is that it might just be a pullback because it needs to test now this here, this last tops here to have a support in this region. So if it does a pullback, it might be good for us to start looking at buying. Okay, we still have a large amount of inefficiency here, right there, that wasn't taken yet. So and that's buyer, that's buyers. So we change that color to light green. Go. All right. So we've got a bit of buying contracts in there on that inefficiency. We also have inefficiency up on the top here on that candle, right? So price might be looking to accelerate when it gets to that region. We are buyers today on gold, okay? So if you have a look at the structure here, you can see that it's a consolidation, even though it has renovated the lowest high. So it did yesterday as well, but then it got a really big push from sellers down. Okay, so it left quite a lot of inefficiency here around this area where price has just broke through that 50%. Now got a little bit of that inefficiency back into the movement, and it's making a retracement. We'll have a look at that better on the 15-minute chart. We've got support here. It's a really good support. In that region, we do have a trend line coming up. We would make that trend line on a lower time frame. We also have a region of interest of price, which is around here. So this is it's a really good zone of interest or price because we can see that it worked as support and as resistance many times. So that means that it's a good neutral zone for the price. We'll put that on that color so it doesn't mix up. This one here was, oh, come on, I didn't unselect it. Sorry about that. We'll do it again. So the price interest right there. It's where price works. It's where that zone works as support and resistance. You can see that price gets in there and then it pops back out and then goes back to it. So it's good to have that on our chart. So we're looking at support at the moment for our price. Let's leave that one right there. That's our last non-support. And we use this one as confluence for it. Look at that. So that's a good confluence right there. And price is coming back to that 50% area, that 50% zone. My Fibonacci got deleted. So we'll put it back right there. Minimal, maximum, and 50%. So low, high, 50% region. That's where price might want to correct itself before it keeps going. All right, so we got that through. Why do we do all these markings every morning? Because we need to see where price is going to, right? What are the possibilities for price? So we need to make sure that we check for support and resistance to make sure that we are not, we have everything fresh in our memory and we are not just thinking about something that may have happened the day before. As we are day traders, we got to do this every single day, okay? Don't just do it once and then think that, oh, I marked everything up yesterday, so it should be okay for today. Because a lot of things happen through the afternoons and the nights, and then we got to have everything fresh in our memory. Yay, Rodrigo. Thanks for coming back, mate. It's good to see you here every day. All right, so for our 1 hour chart, this is pretty much it. We do have a region of resistance here in this region that could try to stop that price, or at least, you know, give it a little bit of a break. We got all these trigger candles here on top. So it will be good to see price breaking through that. Once it breaks through that and breaks through this here, 4629, then it's pretty much a clear run until the trigger candle 67, which might be the one to hold the price. Just want to have a look at this again. I really want to see if that's actual resistance for the price or not. No, this is not resistance for the price. So we can take that one out. It's just the last high that he had. Okay, so we take that one out. So right now price can come through quite fairly easy. On MT5, I forget to keep on unselecting the lines I make. So it keeps on deleting them. MT5, you gotta love this platform. It's actually quite good once you learn how to work with it. But before you do, for me, it was quite complex. until I learn how to work with that chart. Okay, cool. So let's go over to the 15 minutes now. So on the 15 minutes, we can see that we do have a trend line here. Okay, so it's right there, our trend line. We've got 50% here on our FIBO, that's support for the price. This is also support. Okay, so this price may come down, touch that trend line, and try to pop back up. If it comes down to the 50% zone, then we've got to be careful because we've got really good support here around the 50% as well. But we don't want to see that price breaking through, because if it does break through, most likely it will try to come back to this trigger candle here, number 25 or 26. So it might come to that region or the region of interest of price. And then find buyers here trying to push that price back up. So we've got to be very careful around that region. Let's see what price is going to do. It is grabbing the inefficiency left by candle 47, but we do have support just down below. So that might just be a move to grab that liquidity that's in candle 47. Then it might pop back up to grab the liquidity that it's leaving on the top right now. Let's go to the 5 minutes chart. Yesterday we had a I know, but that was broken through. Yeah, we had a short yesterday. A very good short actually. A trend line that came right there, and then that was the trend line we had yesterday. Price broke above it. Tested it again. Look at that. Tested that trend line again and then pop back out. I'll leave that trend there. So we got support, resistance. This one here, we do not need it. We do have triggers here, so you could want to keep that there as resistance, but if price actually goes back there, it might quickly renew that maximum price. It might do it quite quick. We've got really good support down here, really good support over there. Okay, so we have mapped the price. Once we have make sure that we know exactly what we're doing, where we're doing, let's go to the 5 minute chart now. So on our 5 minute chart, we now have price looking to get into that 50% zone there. The good thing is we do have the Fibonacci here on this smaller time frame. So which pretty much aligns with our support zone. Candle 54 on the 15 minute chart is actually just testing up. It's testing up right now, which is sort of okay. It hasn't really gone, price hasn't gone yet to where I would want it to go. It did test that trigger candle number 139 at the 5 minutes, but it hasn't done anything else so far. Just have a look at something, because I do have to keep an eye out on those other students, because I've got to make that reading through for them. Let me see if I can make this work. All candle 161 is doing that movement. I'm just gonna try to see if I can. Non-62 coming back up on the 15 minutes. We're waiting for it to break through those trigger candles. Oh, it's gonna do everything at once. Shouldn't do everything at once. Come on, man. No, this is a bit different for me here. On my computer, my audio device doesn't allow me to have the phones on. It's quite funny. I'll have to sort this out in another day. All right, so 1 minute here. Did a retracement, broke through that 50%. Just touched that trigger candle 57, 157. Let's see if it breaks through these trigger candles here, 145 as well. Confirming 1 minute has confirmed the pullback to the highest spot. 2 seconds, guys. I'll be back in a second. All right, guys, I'm back. I'm so sorry about that. I had to take those 5 minutes to look after our other students on the Black Wolf Arena. Black Wolf Arena is something that the company I work with, we do every day the live reading of the markets, and we do not only do the Brazilian market, we do live readings of all the Brazilian market and also the Forex, okay? So we do live readings there of the gold, of the NASDAQ, and we've got different people looking after different different assets of the market. So at the moment, we've got candle 162 try to break through the trigger candle 48 here, okay? 49, sorry. It didn't manage to break through that. So it did come back. It's received a seller's big push here on 62. I do believe that this price should test the support before it pops back up. But we could get good buys here if price breaks through and that candle 49, okay? Before then, we don't have enough space, enough range to be making any good trades. So got that there. I'm going to put a trend line here as well. Just so it makes it easy when I'm looking at the 15-minute chart. There we go. Oh, there we go again. Our 15 minutes looking good. I'm waiting for it to test that 50% region. Because then if it tests it and comes back up, what it will be telling me is that we have a really good support in that region, and then it will be a lot better for us to buy, okay, to go long on a trade than to go short. And I'll only short this market if it actually comes back down below that support there. So it's got to break through all of that, break through this top here, this last high, this last high. If it does that and breaks the structure here, breaks that trend line, then I would be happy to short this market. At the moment, I wouldn't short it. So it's playing around the 50% of yesterday's there. Candle 54 closed on its region of 50%, as we can see here by this small dot there. So it closed it there. Candle 55 has tested down, so it has to come and break through that candle 49, or it needs to come down, test the support that I would like it to test before it does the movement that it wants to do. As I say every day, patience pays the trader. So we got to be patient on a market like this. Yesterday was a very, very tough day. I actually took 2 gains and 2 stops, as it would actually show us that you wanted to do one move and then did something else. So I actually took a couple stops yesterday. And I got 2 very good trades, and then at night I made another good trade. So it's all right. Sometimes it does happen. And the reason I'm telling you guys this is that so you realize that a good trader will accept the stop loss which is actually it's not a loss, is a protection. So every time I get into a trade, I want to protect my trade. If I'm protecting my trade, that means that I know exactly how much I can lose on that trade, and I know exactly how much I can gain on it. Um, so every time um, we talk about this, it's a lot better to think about a protection of the trade than thinking about, oh, it's a loss, because it's not a loss, it's a protection, okay? And do have in mind that we trade for the whole month. So one thing that I always tell my students is that one day of loss, one day that the market grabs your protection, that doesn't mean that you're a bad trader. It doesn't mean anything. Okay, it just means that the market needed that liquidity. According to the technique that we study, that we use, um, it's better to accept that it took that protection than you just holding on to that movement. And it's a losing movement. So it's better to get your protection than you're actually losing a lot more money. That's why it's called protection, not loss. Okay. And we do a lot more trades um, that pays us. Okay, so my my winning percentage at the moment, my winning trades, they are at about 87%, in between 87 to 89. So it's not one or a couple bad trades that's going to change that. Okay, so do have in mind every time you're trading that one day that it gets your protection, it's not the end of the world. You just got to make sure that you win more than you lose, okay, and that you're using the right technique to get into your trades. So candle 164 once again got into these low here, but it hasn't really broken through um, the structure. What we want to see right now is a breakthrough of trigger candles here on the 15 minutes. I just made the short here, not the short, sorry, this Fibonacci. I want to see price coming up to that highest point of that 50% zone. I do believe that this market is a buying market today, okay? So I do believe in a bullish movement. But that does not mean that we can get into just any trades just like that. It's better to wait a little bit. We will have quite a lot of volatility um, on the opening of the US market. So there's no need to actually put yourself in any position that you could lose money right now. We do have liquidity down below here. Just looking at, just in case the market comes down, when he opens up on the US market, we still have got 7 seconds to go. We got 2 minutes for this candle to go. All right. Let me wait for this, see how it closes, and then we talk about how we would get into any selling trades or shorting the market. On 1 minute here, you see that candle 822 tried to break through this trigger candle here, got a big push down. Buyers might be inducing sellers. Oh, one good thing. Always remember to keep yourself hydrated, okay? Your brain works a lot better if you drink a lot of water. So keep yourself hydrated while you are trading and while you are analyzing to make sure that your brain's working properly. Um, this is a market where we've got to make sure that we look after ourselves. The biggest asset we have is our brain, okay? The other thing that would be good to tell you guys is when you get into any losing trades, okay? Let's say I took a loss in a trade, it got my protection. Don't just jump on the next trade, okay? Take a minute, walk out, have a drink of water, then you sit down again and you redo your whole analysis. So you study why the market went against you. Sometimes it could be just manipulation from the market, okay? It happens. It will show you one thing as we do price analysis. Um, it will show you one thing, and then all of a sudden you may get into a manipulation, and then market will come down or will come up. Will grab your protection, and then we'll make the move that you actually were thinking about. Okay, that you analyzed that was going to happen. So not every time and not every trade will be your fault. Okay, when you get that stop, don't blame yourself. Okay, just go out, think about it. Okay, have a drink of water, have a quick breathe. You can breathe in about 10 times, hold it for, I try to hold it for about 10 seconds so you get enough oxygen in your head so you can come back, analyze the whole thing again, find out if there's anything that you didn't see, okay? Because sometimes we don't see everything on the charts, so that might happen. And then you correct yourself and make sure you get into another trade that will actually pay you. Every time we do get the price to hit our protection, what we try to do is we get into a trade with a higher target. Okay, so let's say I lost 500 points or that I lost 1,000 points on the gold. We'll aim to get into a trade that will pay me double. So if I lost 500, I want to get into a trade that pays me 8 to 1,000 or 1,200. We wait for that trade. You don't need to jump right back into another trade. If I lost 1,000, I'll be looking to get 1,500 to 2,000 points on the next one. So that brings me down to the break even and then gives me a little bit of my pocket so I can use that as leverage on my next trade, and hopefully that trade will be a good trade. Whoa. Okay. So candle 166 is coming back down a bit. So on the 15 minutes here, candle 155 is basically a doji. So doji means an indecision of the market. So you can see that the body of it, it's really small and stays around the 50% region of the candle. Okay, which means players tried to push the price up, then found resistance from the sellers, closed down around the 50% of around the 50% region, okay, which means an indecision of the market. We do not want to be trading just after dojis. One funny thing I always tell my students is that if the big players and the market makers, if they don't know where the market's going, who am I to say, no, it's going to go up or it's going to go down. Okay. So we always wait for that candle of confirmation before we get into a trade, because if they don't know, I don't have enough lots to drive the price up straight away. So if I can't do that, I've got to wait for the people who have the power to do that, and then we get in together with them. Okay, so we always swim with the shark. We don't want to be swimming around smaller fishes, because sharks will come back in and will just take us with them. So that's why we always wait. So 166 is coming back to test that support that I wanted it to test. On 1 minute, it failed the pullback. Okay, so it confirmed the pullback to the top part of these movement, to the structure, and then failed the pullback here on 807, then confirmed pullback on 822, then failed it again on 824. So right now, it has done the pullback to the lowest part, okay, to the support. Let's say touched again, trigger candle on 139. Price is hitting this top part of that structure there. It's gonna hit this one too, and it's gonna hit our support and the 50% of that movement, which is what we were waiting for. It's also just touched our trend line. Let's see if it's gonna find really good support. It's leaving that inefficiency there on candle 166, which has buying orders on it. So when price comes back up, it might come back up quite quickly. Come on, don't just test the support. Test it there, push it down, show me that you got a good enough support in here. Let you go up. It hasn't really grabbed that liquidity that you would have under candle 160, okay? So we had quite a bit of liquidity here. I would wait and hope that it would have grabbed it before it come back up, just so we don't leave anything in there to chance. Wanted to see a spike down, touching these regional support, possibly that 50%, and then another candle coming up. That would be a good rejection of that support region, leaving us with a very cheap protection for our trade. All right. Thank you, Yamako and Rodrigo. You guys have been great. Hopefully 167 is not just going to go up just like that. I'm not going to get into a long trade. We felt it actually testing that support. I really wanted to test that support. It did test a trigger candle, which is some sort of support. But I really want to see that price trying to push down. See here on the 1 minute, candle 832, try to push down again. Candle 833 just pop back out. In the 15-minute chart, we can see here that, wait, there. On the 15-minute chart, we can see that price is right there, trying to push through that support. So price came here to that resistance in there, pushing down. So that's a solid, healthy movement. Let's see if it actually touches the whole area that I want it to do, and if it pops back up that trend line. Oh, I was telling you guys before how we would look at shorting the market. So what we can do, we can speculate a short position. So we'll do that now. Let's just wait for that candle to close. Got 30 seconds on it. All right, good. Now it has tested the support. Now it has grabbed that liquidity below candle 160. So let's see if we get buying pressure from buyers now. No, close breaking last candle's low. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to short it there, and I'm not going to buy there either right now. So let's go to our 15-minute chart and then look at this. So where would I be looking to short this market? I would short this market once price has broken through this 50% region here. Okay, so it's got to break through that region and break through this stops here. Okay, so it's got to come and break through them. If it breaks through this 50% and these trigger candles here, what we do have down below here is we have inefficiency on this candle. Come on, boy. We have inefficiency on this candle, but this is really close to our trigger candles there. So we have quite a lot of selling orders here. So if price comes back through that 50%, pushes down to grab this liquidity that we have down below here, below candle 47, and below candle 44, grabbing that inefficiency here from candle 42, we could see some sort of acceleration through. Now, I don't believe a lot on that price coming down that low, below that top, because we do have that 50% region on the macro movement. Okay, so this could be enough to hold this price if it's just looking at creating liquidity to pop back up. Okay, so on the 15-minute chart, we can see that price tried to test the support, tried to break through it, hasn't been able to so far. All right, so right there. Now, if candle 168 closes like that, oh, no, it's not gonna wait for us, is it? No. So tested support. What we wanted to see was candle 168 close above its 50% closing side of that candle 167 and see candle 169 testing down. If that happens, we've got a 3 candle pattern on the 50% region, which means we have a good trade. All right. So if we have a look here on the 1 minute chart, we can see that the amplitude of that movement is pretty much the same amplitude here to this movement here. So market is working on a good amplitude range. It's just keeping on using the same amplitude for its retractions. Only thing I'm looking at here is that it looks like an 168 already touched the region of the 50% of the micro movement. Micro movement. It did. So that voids the three candle pattern in there. One of the rules for the three candle pattern is that it cannot break through, or one of the targets is actually a 50% of the macro movement. So if already went there, that means that we do not have a three candle pattern, not one that will pay us anyways, not properly. But we could have a rejection here of the support. So if we have a rejection of this 50%, we would still have a good buy. Stop here at the moment. So our protection would be, oh, come on, test down, test down, test down. Yes. Gonna put a buy here. Already got my trade. My protection would be down below. So it would be below those trigger candles there. If it breaks through candle 168, then I don't want to be on that trade anymore. Now, there was a lot of volatility. Look at that. Quite a lot. So I'm going to put my take here. Let's see if it pays us. I've got that trigger candle 55 here, which might stop the price. Oh, it's going to grab our protection. We still have support in that region. If it does grab my protection, that's fine. I'll make another trade once it breaks the structure. See if it will. Yes, it did grab my stop. That's fine. We'll make another one. A lot of volatility. Lots. Volatility. Sorry. So on 1 minute, candle 841 did break through the last low. Price coming back up. I'll put that buy order again. Let's see if it'll pay us now. Stop is fairly short. We've got good targets up. Price could come down and try to grab that inefficiency there. It is a regional support. As we can see, there's a lot of fight in between buyers and sellers. We have been waiting for that retraction on that 50% zone. If it grabs my protection again, then I'll wait for a breakthrough, and then I'll be shorting the market after that. Just clearing the inefficiency here from candle 842. Actually confirm the pullback to go up. Now it failed. If market keeps on coming like that and breaks that structure, we are going to be shorting the market soon. The next move. Oh, did not even see the time, 10 o'clock. So I got my protection twice here, which is totally fine. Let's see what it does now. Now I should test that resistance was support before. Fifteen minutes hasn't broken through that structure yet. On the 5 minutes it has, but we could get pressure from buyers around this region here. So we're still waiting for that. I'm not going to short it without 15 minutes. That's actually closing below that structure. Target for a short trade here would be 50%. Okay. And hitting that structure there. On the 1 minute, we can see that it has created another support. A lot of volatility. Lots and lots. That was very good because over here, we saw the market just coming down really, really slow. And all of a sudden, it had a lot of volatility there. It did break through that 50% there. So let me grab this here. So if I bring it back down to the lowest point, that's our 50% there. And select these. And then take that out. Take that out. If candle 57 comes back up to the support and closes inside of candle 56, I'll be buying once again. A lot of pressure from buyers in that movement. It has failed the pullback to go up, but it did make the pullback to go down. So it did what it had to do on the 1 minute. Candle 170 looks like we'll be closing below the support. So if it closes below support, I'm not buying unless it tests down and then comes back. It's got to test down quite a bit around this region here. Come on, man, just test down. One of the rules that I like to follow is if the market doesn't do what I want it to do, I'm not getting to the trade. So I see this candle going up. I'm not gonna hit a buy at market price just because the price going up. I want to see it testing and then coming back. And we always use orders behind the price, okay? So price coming down to test, we put the orders on top of it. We never hit buy at market price. Come on. Yes, that's what I want to see you doing. Yeah, come here, boy, come here. Oh, it's 10:10 at the moment. People, I do need to go. I need to go back to the students. I actually missed the timing here. This is fun. I love doing this. Okay, so guys, this is what the market did for us today. Basically did what we wanted it to do, apart from not paying us up the top there that we wanted it to pay. And I'm going to get into that buying trade again because now it has tested the support below. So, guys, thank you very much for watching today. I hope that you're enjoying all the content I'm bringing you. This has been the trading cage where we beat the gold. We'll go get ready for the American US market opening. It's going to be an awesome day. I do wait for trades renewing that high today. If it doesn't, if it breaks through structure, as I said before, we will be short in the market. But until then, we're waiting to go long, okay? Thank you very much. I'll catch you guys next time. I'll see you tomorrow, 9 o'clock. We'll be here. Thank you very much.